Good morning, guys. Welcome back to How Come. I just want to say thank you again to our new patrons. There's more and more of you every day, and it's so nice. If you haven't checked out patreon.com/howcome, we've got great extras. We have the unedited interview with Dan Savage via Skype, so you can see how weird Charlotte and I really thought we were. We have extras with Ariana Maddox from Vanderpump Rules that I couldn't put on the actual episode because I didn't want to get sued by Bravo, but there's really good tea in there. We have extras that just went up with Girls Gotta Eat, 40 minutes of extras, literally unreal, great stuff. So yeah, go to patreon.com/howcome if you want to check those out. I'm also going to be arranging little meetups around New York, so you can hang out with me, ask me questions. We're going to add a layer that's like a phone interview if you want to ask me some questions or ask Charlotte some stuff. So stay in touch with us at How Come Podcast on Twitter and Instagram so that you know when we add those gifts and you can sign up for them. But right now you can just head over to patreon.com/howcome and check out the extras. Also, I want to say thank you to everyone who's been rating and reviewing on iTunes. I promise you that if we got to 500 reviews, that's like giving us 5 stars, then I would put out a bonus episode. We are so close. We need 100 more 5-star reviews on iTunes, and then I'll put out an extra episode as soon as it happens. I'll do it. So like literally grab your friends' phones, do all that stuff you guys have been doing. It's been awesome. This episode, I'm interviewing 2 comedians, Khalid Rahmaan, who has been seen on Conan, and LeClerc Andre, who has been seen on The Tonight Show. They both run the Eff'n Up Podcast together. And yeah, this episode is amazing. You guys are going to love it.
How come? How come? How come I can't achieve? How come I can't achieve? I'm rolling up my sleeves. I'm rolling up my sleeves. Oh, baby, I believe these guests can help. 'Cause I can't do it by myself. I wanna jizz.
This is going to be a real fun episode. I am sitting here with 2 of my favorite comedians in the city. One of them, a very old friend from comedy. One of them, a very new friend from comedy. They both have late night sets. They've both had late nights, which means, you guessed it, they've had sex. And and they're awesome. Please welcome the co-hosts of the amazing podcast Eff'n Up, Khalid Rahmaan, and LeClerc Andre.
Hey. It's us.
So you're both currently single.
Oh, no.
No?
I'm single. Khalid is single. Don't get LeClerc in trouble.
The girl from Barbershop.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the girl from Barbershop.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's the lady.
Fun. How long have you guys been together?
We've been together 1.5 years.
Very nice.
Yeah.
She coming often?
I hope so.
You don't know?
I hope so.
Do you ask?
Yeah, she does. I'm joking.
Oh, okay.
She's coming all over the place, guys.
Yay.
Yeah. Did you just say she's coming all over the place?
All over the place. All over the place. Yeah. If we're being honest, like when you first, like anytime you're hooking up with a person, like guys, we have proof that we come, right?
Yeah.
So like the most we can do is say, yeah, if she says she's coming, believe her.
Right.
So yeah, that's the metric I'm using.
Yeah, I guess you can't be like, are you sure?
Yeah. I can't say prove it, right?
Just prove it?
Yeah, like proof.
That would seem rude.
Yeah.
That would seem rude.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, she's coming.
If she says it, I would believe. Although I have friends recently who are faking it all over the place. It's very sad.
Well, when you come, do you announce it?
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah, because it's so rare, like during sex, like we really have to be like goal oriented.
Yeah, so you explicitly say I'm coming.
Yeah, and I'm always like really proud. Like it's still tough for me to do with another person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So a lot of girls won't say it. They'll just like come, and then afterwards it's like, yeah, I came so many times, and you're
like, oh, I had no idea.
Well, I'm not.
That's like
not
when
all
somebody
the time.
doesn't laugh at a joke, and they're like, that was funny.
Yeah. Yes. Well, usually if sex is good, then you'll know, right? Oftentimes, or especially if they're vocal. But sometimes, like afterwards, they're like, oh my god, that was so great. And I'm like, oh yeah, cool.
But there's times I've said like, that's so great, and I didn't even come. Like I was just saying that was like a real fun time.
Just like a good job.
Yeah, like,
a pat on the head.
Well done.
Yeah, like, wow, that
teamwork.
That was a lot of fun position.
Yeah.
Like we did good work.
Sure.
We were one.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. So the last I've been single for a long time, maybe like 10 years at this point. Mostly, I mean, with a few periods of having like short-term girlfriends. And so it's been a lot of casual stuff, and I'm trying to like stop doing that and just look for something a little more substantial.
Yeah.
So it's weird. Like casual sex is not casual. Casual stuff, you bring someone back, and it's like you don't know the person that well. You don't know each other's bodies that well. It's not
I know. I feel like I preach all the time. I'm like, just communicate more. Like, tell them what you want. Like, that's hard to do with a stranger.
I found that sex talk is more uncomfortable than new sex. I know people who've been together for years, and they're much more comfortable. Like most people are more comfortable having sex with a completely new person than talking about sex with a person they've been with for 3 years. So that's a weird thing that a lot of people are just, they'd rather not talk about sex and do it than talk about it and have to face like real.
Yeah, I had a listener write me the other day, and she was like, I had come before the podcast, like I masturbated all the time. But I had never come with my fiance, and like I never wanted to say anything about it. And she's like, and it kind of just like, you know, opened me up, like listening to stuff or whatever. And she's like, and now I talk to him, and I can like, but even that's crazy. I mean, not crazy, but it's exactly what you're saying. Like, it's tough to be like, I like you in all these ways, but I've been keeping a secret.
Well, I related to like your podcast so much because when I first heard about it, when you first told me about the idea, I was like, this is a good idea. Then I was thinking about it, and I was like, I wasn't like a person who could easily come myself until like 6 years ago.
Ooh, are you a pot of gold? Funny and couldn't come for a long time.
I'm like, I think this is my soulmate. I was like, this is because like I just didn't know what it was for me that would like get me there.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I could, masturbate and like make it happen, but like with another person, I was like, I'm done, I guess.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So I had the Girls Gotta Eat on, and they were talking about how they like will sometimes like look for evidence that the guy has like.
I've had a girl do that to me before.
Really?
Yeah, she'll check the condom.
Inspector Gadget.
That's what I said.
I'll throw it in the trash, and I'll just hear her ruffling through the trash.
Maybe she's trying to like harvest it for later.
Nah,
she's like, he's gonna be on Tonight Show one day. I'm gonna save this in the freezer, and I'm gonna get him when he get that Netflix deal. Girl, gonna get some money.
Yeah, the girls I used to date with had no faith in my dreams.
I seen you on stage. I'm throwing this condom away. Get out of my apartment.
But yeah, I've had girls do check to see if guys fake orgasms for sure.
I've never heard of that, but I mean, now I know it happens.
It's happened to me multiple times. I guess I just give off a vibe that like
you're silent, silent but deadly.
Yeah, are you not announcing it?
I mean, first of all, I think it's really weird that guys, like, it's like a universal thing, like, oh, I'm coming. That's like such a weird thing to me. I think that the evidence is in when it's over for guys. Yeah, so I don't know. I've done that before. I've said, hey, I'm coming.
If you have sex with LeClerc, he'll be like, hey, I'm coming.
It's weird.
I guess that's why girls are checking the bag. Like, oh, I just came. Like, nigga, did you really just come?
I mean, I didn't know for years. I didn't have myself figured out sexually, so like I didn't know like what was needed. And then one day, this like wonderful lady, I mean, Allahu Akbar, licked my balls.
Ooh.
And then I was like, that's it.
That's your thing.
She unlocked the code.
Ski.
And then I thought about that Chris Rock bit. I'm like, all those years, I had dry balls. I was walking around with dry balls. I could have been coming the whole time.
We've actually never talked about ball sucking or licking on this podcast.
Changed my life forever.
So I'm so glad that you guys are here.
I mean, it was a magical day.
So you love it. How do you feel?
Oh, I'm not crazy about ball play.
Interesting. See,
I must have.
I'm not. It's not my thing. I don't like ball play at all.
Do you know what CBT is?
No.
Okay, it's cock and ball torture.
I've heard of this.
Also cognitive behavior therapy.
Yes.
And when I first, somebody was like, "Oh, are you into CBT?" And I was like, "I've never done it, but I've like read about it a lot." And they were like,
at first, I thought you said CPT, and I'm like, colored people time?
"Oh my
God, this is the wrong podcast."
Remy.
Like, I know what that is.
Yeah.
How come y'all late?
We were actually very on time.
Yeah.
I'm very big on
You're
prompt.
so prompt.
So if someone is like more than 25 minutes late for just anything, I'll just text them like, hey, I had to go.
I've broken up. I've broken up with somebody because I was like, I don't think you value my time.
And you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. That person does not value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was like, if you can be on time to class, you can be on time to your job. you should be on time for the person that you intend to bang later.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the girl just started licking
the balls,
right?
And I was like, what is happening? It's like my life has changed. You know, like that movie with Tobey Maguire when the world is in black and white, and then one day something happens, like he feels love, and the whole world starts to become color. It was like the whole
Reese
world.
Witherspoon?
Yes, it was the whole world became color. I was like, I've been living a different life.
That's great.
How old were you then again?
I was like, wow, this was 7 years ago. So I was 34.
So better question, how old was she?
She was like 28.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was thinking she was like learning you something.
Like a Jedi.
I thought she was like, sit down, boy, lift your legs up. Like really grandma in you. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
Good for her.
Yeah,
I mean,
seriously.
good for me.
Man, hit her up on Venmo, man. Just let her know she's appreciated.
Everybody hit her up on Venmo.
Everybody hit everybody up on Venmo.
Yeah, can everybody stop saying happy birthday to each other? Farrah Brooks started this. She's like, don't say happy birthday to me. Send me $1 on Venmo.
Interesting.
That's golden. Yeah.
I like that.
Good. Yeah.
For 1 year, I took my birthday off of Facebook on like the day before
Yeah.
my birthday. I just said,
Just
you know,
to test people.
And I took it off, and I did it honestly just because I hated having my phone blow up on my birthday. It's just annoying. But it was also like refreshing just to see the few people who did reach out. I'm like, oh, you mark it on your calendar? What do you love me? Get out of here.
Yep.
Come over here and lick my balls.
You know what we call that? Appropriation. Appropriating my thing, man.
Yeah, man.
That's so funny.
But yeah, it was a life-changing move. It was actually interesting because it coincided with me trying to get better at sex. Because I realized what pleased me. And up until that point, I've been not very good at it.
Not very good at sex.
Yes. And I knew that later because I dated another comedian briefly. And we hooked up, and then she got on stage, and she started doing this bit about how guys with big dicks are lazy in bed. And I'm like, I think she's talking about me.
He subtly just slid in that he's got a big dick on this podcast.
Hey,
ladies.
this is how I discovered I was
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
I was like, I haven't been doing
I
it.
discovered I was bad.
I haven't been doing a
sex.
good job. And then we talked about it afterward, and she was like, yeah, you got to be like doing stuff. You got to like be checking in and making sure that I'm getting off. And I was like, you know what? You're right. And then after that, I was like, you know what?
I gotta be more conscientious.
I gotta make this pussy eating a craft. I was like, I gotta make this into a craft and get good.
Your whole podcast is about like improving yourself and
I was effing
manners
up.
and stuff. You were effing up sex all the time.
Yes.
Weird flex, but okay.
I was effing up sex.
Very weird flex.
You know when you be bad at sex, but your dick is okay.
You know, you just walk around with a big old dick, and women still ain't coming. And you know it's not the materials, it's you. The Big Dick Woes is the new podcast.
So I went to the top of a mountain in China and I studied the pussy eating book. So I got just learned. You know, you gotta learn.
Have you ever read the book She Comes First?
No, I heard about that book though.
Yeah, we're gonna have Ian Kerner, Dr. Ian Kerner, who wrote it.
Wow.
But basically, it teaches you how to like eat pussy and worship a lady. Have you learned a lot in that department?
I've learned a lot.
Yeah.
And I've had some good instructors who've been very patient and just like, this is what you got to do. And it's been a good experience.
Yeah.
Because before I was just like, oh, this is bad.
Well, it's
No, I
nice
don't.
when it's somebody who's like willing to learn, who comes to you, and it's not just like, what do you like? It's like, no, what do you like? Like,
At this point, I'd be happy just with all oral stuff. Just giving and receiving.
Not me. I'm trying to go to work.
trying to bang.
I'm trying to bang.
Yeah, I think I'd prefer a bang over oral.
Oh, man.
I mean, don't
guy.
get me wrong. Like, sometimes you want what you want, right? But
Just sit on my face and then I'm good to go.
but yeah, you know, cool. I could go without blowjobs. Yeah,
Interesting.
I could just go without them most of the times.
Have you ever effed up sex before?
Absolutely.
Before?
I've been a virgin. For me, I think oral sex came later because I don't think I was good at it until I wanted to do it. And I think that's a really universal attitude towards oral sex. I think we've all got a like begrudging blowjob.
Yeah.
Or
Oh,
had
boy.
a dude go down on
The
you that
begrudging
you could tell really didn't want to do it. I think the difference between good oral sex and bad oral sex is people's attitude towards pleasuring the other person. If a girl
Definitely.
wants to give a good blowjob, she'll give you a good blowjob
Yeah.
because she wants to do it. But if she's like, gotta fucking suck
It's
this
like-
dick
it's like
again.
girl give
Yeah.
you a blowjob and she looking at her watch like,
Yeah, because you can tell when they don't want to be down there. So like,
Definitely.
it becomes, how can I take pleasure out of something that is only pleasuring me, right? So if I'm seeing you down there like just hating it, then I'm not gonna want that from you anyway. So
Definitely.
that like changed my attitude.
that used to be my like only way I would come, like marathon blowjobs. That's not good.
Well,
Just
God bless
torturing
these women.
I could only come if she's crying.
Huge thing of Gatorade next to the bed, just like keep going. This is really bad.
There's a thing, I don't even have a name for it, so I shouldn't be saying it, but it's like a sleeve that goes around the dick, and you're supposed to use it in conjunction with a blowjob. So if like your mouth gets tired, like there's still this like rubbery. You remember those little things in the 90s that you'd like stick your fingers through?
Oh, I
Those
know.
little jelly things with like all the beads and the sparkles.
Right.
It's like that, but for your dick.
And they come in different sizes, I'd imagine, or
Oh, I'd hope so for Khalid's sake. He's got a big dick that he doesn't know how to.
What can you do?
just throwing it around.
Wow, throwing around.
Yeah, that's fun. I've never heard of this thing. I've heard of grapefruits. That was a thing.
Oh yeah,
Grapefruits.
who said that?
Tiffany Haddish, I think she did.
Yeah.
Heating it up.
I didn't hear that part. I didn't watch the movie, honestly. I just saw
Like
that.
you don't heat it up.
Yeah, I think it was Girls Trip.
Yeah, Girl
Yeah,
Trip.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think she had a pretty popular scene where she was like demonstrating on the grapefruit, showing the moves, dropping keys.
Yeah. Who was the first woman that led you through your virginity, or whose virginity you took?
Oh, this is this is after college. I was like probably 21, and it was a gal who was visiting Boston from Ireland. In Boston every summer. There's like an influx of young Irish people who come.
Do you
and work.
only fuck white women?
No, I've fucked other races of women, but that first one was the whitest one probably.
Like that person sounds clear.
She was clear. She
Yeah.
was from like a place where I don't think they have sunshine.
Okay.
I feel like Remy could not hold that question back a second longer.
Serious. No, I was like, I know the history that I know.
There's been a few, yeah.
Black women don't like that.
I've heard. Tell me more.
Do you feel pressure or no?
No. It's interesting. Usually that kind of thing is family based.
That's yeah.
But I've never had that. I
Yeah.
think at this point, like all my mom's kids are single, and she has no grandkids. Like I've been talking about this on stage recently. She's a 69-year-old black woman with 4 adult kids and 0 grandkids, which is like very rare.
Heartbreaking.
So but she's been very cool about it. Like she doesn't really pressure us at all about it. So at this point, she'd just be happy with me bringing someone home and hopefully like impregnating them immediately.
Yeah.
Like that's like her dream.
Charlotte's, we're planning to.
You guys are planning to make babies
Yeah,
soon?
yeah.
What's going on?
No.
Our grandma's really intense about marriage, kids. She really wants grandkids. It's just not a priority for us right
And
now.
like a nice Jewish boy
Yeah.
So I was.
who's in finance.
We love our grandma.
Who's in finance?
Yes.
We love her. I will do anything to make her happy. But like, this is just not on my radar right now. So
Yeah.
I was thinking I might get one of my best guy friends just to pretend to be my boyfriend, make up a whole story about him, introduce them, and like. Then eventually someone's going to have a baby around. I'll bring it. Oh,
It's like a very long-term plan.
This is a real long
right,
con.
Yeah,
but
it's a long con. If any family members are listening, you're in now. Do not.
do not tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I like
his-
your voice. Did you notice her voice?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you have a great voice.
It's very smoky.
Okay, so that's been a big point of contention on the podcast. Like we've been told so many times that our voices sound similar on like conference calls.
not
and
at
with
all.
Growing up.
yeah, but
Your
but
voices sound nothing like that.
now there's a split between the listeners of this podcast. Some of them are like, it's really difficult to hear the two of you talk together, and some of them are like, Charlotte's voice is so much sexier. What are you talking about?
No, she does have a great voice.
Yeah.
I was 17 when I lost my virginity.
Oh, yeah, and your crazy scenario.
Yeah. She was a black girl. You hear that?
He's like, you hear that, black women?
She was a black. Yeah, she's black. And I was 17. She was 25 or 26.
Really?
And I didn't. It was weird because I never came. I never masturbated or
What?
anything
Because
before.
of Jesus.
Because Jesus was like, "Hey, hold on."
Hold on, player.
You know Napoleon?
Email.
Yeah. He has the same story that the first time he came was having sex because
Yeah.
he never masturbated, but his was because he was told masturbation was gay.
That's like going from the minor leagues to the big leagues.
Yeah, well, I never thought masturbation was gay. I just thought it was kind of lame.
Lame?
Yeah.
You said you and like your brothers, like you had like a
Yeah,
like a pact.
we were raised in a church, so we kind of all had an agreement that we weren't going to lose our virginity until we got married. But then my older brother came to his senses. And I started finding out he was messing around. And I was like, I can't just be the only one with dry balls in the house. So I kind of started giving up on that idea that I was going to wait for marriage. And I ended up meeting this girl at like a jacuzzi party. I don't even know if that's a thing. But and we hooked up, and I remember like trying to put off, when you're like messing around in bed and you haven't had sex before. So I didn't know the
You know when you're a virgin.
No, you ain't never had nothing going on except for your left hand and your right hand if you're not lazy.
Yeah. So I'm in bed with this grown ass woman, right?
Yeah.
She's a grown woman.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to make out with her for as long as that's interesting to her. But she's like, all right, nigga, where's the moves? What you gonna do now? And I was like, I'm trying to pull, like, she's pulling out all the stops. And I'm like, I don't have a condom. She's pulled one out of her pocket. And I'm like, all right, this is bad. So,
And you hadn't really seen porn, really, either.
No. I mean, I didn't have a computer. I don't even think I had a computer at the time. So.
And hot tub party, is it a party surrounding one hot tub, or is it like multiple hot tubs in a space?
Yeah, my homie had a jacuzzi.
Okay.
And he was like, hey, bring your bathing suit. I think we're going to get in the jacuzzi. So that just became the theme of the parties.
Okay.
So like I saw girls walking around in bikinis. I'm like, all right, I don't know if I can hide a boner for too long in this party. So we ended up hooking up. And what's crazy is that my best friend and his girlfriend were in the same bed.
What?
Yeah. They were in the same bed with us.
What do you mean?
Yeah, like we were just making out in his bed and he was
Wait,
with his
okay. First of all, rewind. Why is a 25-year-old at a high school party?
My friend at the time, he was dating. He graduated from high school, so he was dating a girl who was 25 as well, and she invited her girlfriends.
Okay.
So I just met one of his girlfriends.
Did you approach her, or did she approach you?
It was like mutual flirting.
Okay.
And
Plus, you're very tall, so you look, look a lot older.
I was tall, but I was also frail. Like I was very skinny. So I don't think she was under the impression that I was of age. I don't think. But yeah.
She was just like, ooh, look at that hot,
She's just
skinny child.
out here raping.
Yeah.
But we ended up hooking up, and it was weird. I didn't know how to put the condom on, which is a very embarrassing thing to be happening while you're having sex.
I had the same issue.
Yeah.
First time. I mean, also, it didn't help that like the woman who I had sex with the first time, she wanted to use only the condoms that have like the unlubricated ones.
What?
That are like they're like chalky.
She's like, I gotta stay so
She said-
pale.
Maybe she just had confidence in her
said
juices.
She was a virgin too, and she said that she heard these were better for you.
Wait, how did you guys meet?
We met. I used to work at Cheers Boston, the bar that
Stop.
yeah, that the TV show is based on. And then my buddy Kevin and I would go out after work and like meet people at like bars in the neighborhood and like hang out and stuff. And see, he was dating this girl who was an Irish girl who was visiting, and this was her friend.
Oh
and
my God.
yeah.
I love Cheers.
And their accents were like really like
Horrendous.
No, they were charming. They had like the good like fancy Irish accents, not like the kind of rougher ones.
Irish accent. I'm thinking Boston accents.
No,
she moved
they were
from
Irish.
Yeah, Irish.
They were like visiting from Ireland for the summer.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And then
went on a couple dates and then back to my place. And then we just started making out. And she was like, I have something to tell you. I'm a virgin. And I was like, me too. And she was like, let's do it. And then I had condoms, but they were like not the kind she wanted to use. So I went to like CVS, like ran to CVS, like rock hard, just like like the Roadrunner. And I got the condoms, came back, and it was like over in like, I don't know.
see, that's nice to have camaraderie though with somebody who's like, yeah, I'm a virgin too.
I've never taken a girl's virginity. I don't think.
Yeah. I've always wanted to take someone's, but now I'm way too old that it would be very strange, and I'm sure Ben would mind.
Yes.
Yeah, but you didn't have that same camaraderie. You kind of had to like pretend that you were.
Hey, teamwork.
I didn't pretend.
You didn't. You were just kind of like.
I wasn't out there like, yeah, I got this, but I wasn't.
You know how I do, girl?
I'm like, bust
I
it open
don't.
for your boy.
I do not know how you do.
Not.
Neither do you, apparently.
Yeah, I was not out there flexing. I was just like just trying to navigate and keep my bearings.
How was it that you ended up in the same room as your friend?
It was
And
the
bed.
only room. It was the only room in the house that had a bed. So
Logic.
yeah. So I
Not
mean,
like.
you know what it was? It was his bed in his defense.
Yeah.
It is.
It was his bed, but we were there first. So it was,
Okay. So yeah, I understand.
And this wasn't a
being
king size bed.
Hey, we want to use this bed. Roll over.
I mean, the details are getting fuzzy. But I just remember us being in the bed first, them joining us. But it's not like they joined into the bed
in a sexual way.
like while we were already having sex. We were just like already messing around in the bed, and when they hopped in, it was like, I think they were falling asleep. I'll put that in air quotes.
Yeah.
I think they liked the show, and I think I was just too lazy to move.
Yeah, I also think it's not that uncommon to do like stuff in communal spaces when you're in high school.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
a lot of my first fingering was like under a pile of other people in a tent on a trip.
Absolutely. That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Was it at camp?
No, we had like a bike trip to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, which is Amish country, and that made everyone very sexually aroused.
I've never had an issue like messing around in front of people.
Well, I mean, apparently not.
I
Your
thi-
first experience, you know.
I think it's because yeah, my first experience was like that. But like I just remember like from like 17 to like 25, I can countless experiences where like I don't want to say countless, but there's there are a lot of times where there's just like open fucking going on, and
Yeah.
like we were just all cool with it.
So that you came the first time.
Oh, very fast.
Very fast.
Yeah, I mean, but I didn't know I came, which is because I had nothing to compare it to. So it was just one of those things where I put the condom on, we started having sex, and then it was all so great. But the thing was, I just didn't. There was no way for me to know for sure that
That
I
was
came outside of like, you know.
Yeah. I got a message from a listener the other day who was like, I had this weird thing happen. Like, she's never had an orgasm before. And she's like, I think it might have been an orgasm. Like, my toes curled and my back flexed and like a lot of fluid came out. And I was like, yeah, I think you
That's
had
it.
an orgasm. She was like, oh, sick.
Yeah, I get that. I completely get that. Yeah, when I came, you know, how if you come and you continue having sex, oftentimes the condom will stay inside the girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I was like, hey man, give it back.
She's like, he gonna be on Tonight Show one day. I'm keeping this one.
I was like, you got something of mine, and I want it back right now. But yeah, and then it was weird.
Did you ever talk to her again after?
Yeah, we like talked all summer, and then I went off to college, and that was weird.
So like technically that was statutory rape.
Technically, but who's being technical these days? I mean, I don't like to think of it as like, I mean, let's be honest. Like, it wasn't a situation where like she was taking advantage,
Right.
of a non-consenting person,
Right.
and she also didn't know how old I was, in her defense. So I mean, I was in high school. I was a senior in high school, so she could have guessed that I could have been 18.
So Charlotte just reminded me that the age of consent in New York is actually 17. So she technically wasn't raped. You grew up in Maryland, where the age of consent is also 17, and there are rules. She was abiding between the rules, but I think what's important is like between then and now, like just not to assume stuff. I think there wasn't like the culture of talking about so much anyway too.
Right.
And like now, like this year, I would hope people have learned enough that they're like, okay, yeah, I should ask how old someone is, and
Yeah.
I should ask it like, are you down?
Ask how old they are. Don't keep them in the basement. All these things. We're learning these things from these documentaries. We're learning a lot. It's a slow process.
Which ones are you watching?
Started watching that R. Kelly documentary.
Oh my God.
There's a lot of, he didn't ask anything.
Did you watch the whole thing?
Not yet, no.
I watched the whole thing.
I watched the first part, and I don't think I need to watch the rest. Yeah, I don't understand why people are so up in arms now, though.
That's the thing.
Like, why do we need a 6-part documentary series when he already has a tape out explicitly showing him pissing on a person, and we need like a documentary
More
to
evidence?
like, it's
Yeah.
like how much shit do we need to corroborate before we're like, you know what, I think enough's enough. I think that's why I have so much issue with the current outrage that's happening, because I canceled R. Kelly years ago.
Same.
Yeah.
I was like, I never even liked I Believe I Can Fly.
Yeah.
That guy's not like the whole.
I do think that we kind of muddy the conversation, because of course we should be able to forgive people when people make mistakes, but we're not talking about mistakes. We're talking about like a lifetime of behavior.
Yeah.
And I think that we need to be more understanding of that type of context. If a person fucks up once and they make amends and they try to repair their image and do the right things, yeah, we'll have a conversation about forgiveness.
Yeah.
But if a person's like a serial monster,
Yeah. Well, that's what the doc goes through, is like the first relationship that he had, which was statutory rape, was with Aaliyah. And I think
the first documented one.
Yeah, sure. The first
Yeah,
documented
absolutely.
one when he became famous. And I think a lot of people had kind of rose-tinted glasses like, oh, it's just like they had a bond and like they're meant to be, and then they're gonna get but then it becomes it wasn't just her, it was someone who is 15 or below.
Well, it's about all the people who enabled it too.
100%.
The handlers. A lot of people made a lot of money off of R. Kelly for a lot of years.
Yeah.
It was in their best interest to keep all this out of the public eye.
Yeah. They're like, it was so strange. He'd be like, go get some girls at the mall, and we'd go get some girls.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not cool. And it's not cool of everyone else to just not
there's
care.
There's other people in that situation who probably also should be in jail. Because they seriously, because they were like wrangling up high school girls for him at the mall. Like, that's criminal.
Yeah.
Most of the people in the documentary should be in jail.
Yeah.
And it's what the worst part is how complicit a lot of the women were who were like hooking R. Kelly up with other girls.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, if I get it that in hindsight, of course, your vision is better, but it's like,
it wasn't for a lot of money. A lot of these payoffs he was doing either. It was like $2,000. It was insane.
It was just getting to be part of the world.
it wasn't money at all, because he gave Aaliyah's parents $100.
What?
Yeah, $100. That's not hush money.
No.
That's like shut up and get the fuck out of my face money. So it's just disrespect. The whole idea that money was the reason is I just don't buy into that at all.
Yeah, I watched the whole thing and it's horrifying. He keeps people enslaved basically, and has this huge power thing where they have to bang on the door to ask if they can eat, if they can do anything, if they can go to the bathroom, like. And we as a society have enabled it because there's never been any repercussions.
Well, now it looks like he's starting to get shut down professionally. Like his record label dropped him.
Sony dropped him.
But it has to start at the top.
I don't think it has to start at the top. I think it really started grassroots when people started the Mute R. Kelly movement. So like it's starting at the top. I think that it really started with people just outwardly protesting him.
Yeah.
And that backlash is what encouraged Sony to say, all right, maybe we don't want to stand behind this dude.
But that's bad. That means that it's basically just the company like, well, we can't make money off of this anymore. We might as well shut it down.
Well, I don't know if that's the case either. I think they can still make money off of him. It's just that I don't know if long term it's going to bode well for them if they just don't have the balls to say, hey, maybe we should drop this rapist who's on our roster.
Yeah.
I will say one thing about this. I worked at Last Week Tonight with John Oliver for like 3 years, and we had numerous R. Kelly fact checks. And so I knew about all of this stuff and didn't understand why nobody was talking about it or doing anything about it. And it kind of just, I don't want to say like we're lazy as a society, but like we don't know until a movie about it comes out or something. And it's like, it wasn't just the pee. All this stuff about like basically enslavement of these girls has been out for so long. And even until I had to fact check it, didn't have a clue. And I don't know why.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I just thought he was hooking up with
to notice
a younger girl, and I thought that was fucked up.
MTV
But this is much worse.
reported on his marriage to Aaliyah.
They did.
Yep.
Remember
for
when
sure.
MTV News was a thing?
They had an interview with both of them.
Yeah, and they were like really like casual about it. So what's going on with you and she's a child, and they're like jiving about it. I'm like, what the? I don't understand like how this outrage, this burn has been so slow. Like, and I completely understand why he's so empowered. It's like, why y'all mad now? I've been outwardly doing this for years. Why are y'all mad?
I watched it with my friend, and we've known each other for a really long time. And I was like, just in the beginning, I was like, benefit of the doubt, like, because we always have to play devil's advocate. What if she just was into him too? And
that
my friend
matter.
goes, that doesn't matter. It's
matter.
on him to be the adult and not fuck the kid. Like, we had been in situations before where like we worked at a tennis club, and she wanted to hook up with one of the older instructors, one of the older employees or whatever. Right. And then he did make a move or whatever. And she was just kind of like, oh, like, I don't want this. And it should have been on you to turn me away as like a little kid who doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah. I was so dumb at 14. So dumb at 14. And I could only imagine like how impressionable Aaliyah must have been getting into the music. She's not in
Same
school
industry.
every day.
Yeah.
It's not like she's like getting smarter at 14. She's just like making music and around all these powerful men.
That's what it was too. It's not even like the money thing we were saying before. It's none of these girls were trying to be like accountants or whatever. They were all trying to crack into the music industry, and they thought this would be their big break.
Yeah.
And they're just doing what they thought they had to do.
Yeah.
Turn off the R. Kelly.
Turn off R. Kelly.
If you learn anything from this podcast,
None of all the defenses of R. Kelly, none of them are even remotely sensible.
no.
No.
There's nothing you can say that justifies standing behind R. Kelly.
Well, they all come back to, but I like his music though.
Yeah.
That's all they come back to.
It's so I've canceled people for far less. I have a cousin who left me on red. And I'm like, he's done. He's dead to me. Dead to me. He's never made a classic. I don't give a shit. It's like I don't understand why people have. Also, my biggest thing is people like going out of their way to openly defend a stranger.
Sure.
These people don't know R. Kelly from
Right.
anywhere, and they're like, but he's a good father. How would you know?
Well,
Sure.
one of the girls in the doc, I don't know if you didn't get this far, but she went to one of the trials to kind of like be outside and be like, R. Kelly's innocent, R. Kelly's innocent. And he met her that way and then became one of his victims. It's so
girl-
fucked up.
A stranger went to his trial to defend him.
Like not
and
in the,
ended up-
but you know, like stand
Yeah.
outside, like how everyone did with Michael Jackson.
And
Like, we
ended
love you,
up-
Michael.
And ended up
being abused by him for years.
I mean, I don't want to say anything bad about this girl.
No, but the
Don't.
irony is painful.
Hey man, you were just
Yeah.
on TV.
Yeah.
You got a future in the business.
But again, that speaks to this like willful ignorance that a lot of people have. Like, why are we going out of our way to defend people who have like this track record?
Yeah.
People did this for Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy.
Oh my, that's
Yeah.
the one I'm watching now.
I think
He's like the people wanted to think he was innocent because he was
He's
cute.
good looking.
How crazy is that?
I think something the Roy Wood Jr. was saying the other day makes sense about this. He was on Bomani Jones' podcast, and he said that he thinks part of the reason a lot of people defend R. Kelly is because they have something in their family, an uncle who's very similar,
Yeah.
who did something to them,
Yep.
or did something to one of their family members
Yep.
that has not been reckoned with, or they see themselves
Yep.
in R. Kelly and their behavior. They did something to somebody when they were younger. They never dealt with it. They never had to account for it. So they feel like this affinity in a way that's like that if they go after R. Kelly, they're going after themselves, or they're going after their family. Or so there's a lot of things, there's a lot of abuse that goes on that becomes a cycle of abuse psychologically. And that kind of empowers people who are victimizers to keep victimizing because people don't want to deal with their own stuff.
Totally.
So people, I think, identify with him in a lot of different ways that that would never even come to mind for people.
That goes for bad behavior universally, though.
Sure.
Like, I mean, when people see people saying crazy things like, "Oh, Trump supporters are assholes," and it's like, some people know Trump supporters.
But I'm saying, but this is a little bit different because it's very taboo to talk about. So like
Gotcha,
sexual
gotcha.
abuse within the family, within like
Yeah.
the friend group, it's very taboo to talk about. So people have this shame and secrecy around it, which makes them completely unwilling to even justify their defense of someone like that.
R. Kelly's brothers are in the documentary, and they're both giving testimonials about him being a great guy from jail.
Of course, yeah.
I saw one of his brothers was in jail.
I don't know. Maybe it's only one, but
Well, at least somebody got caught.
yeah. I always say, however men responded to the Me Too movement is very showing about or telling about who they've been sexually in their past lives. Like if you're taking into account, okay, yeah, like I did some fucked up stuff, I want to not change my behavior, versus this has gone too far. You can't even say hi to a woman anymore.
It always struck me as one of the funniest responses. I can't even say hello. Can't say hello, how you doing? What's going on?
What?
I can't even tell women to smile anymore. You should be doing that, bro. You should be doing that.
All I said was, "God bless you, mom," and I'm the asshole, huh?
I said, hola. Nah, I'm a rapist. What's up with that? It's like,
I put a poll on our Instagram that was like, who's initiating more, you or the other person? Very innocuous poll. And this guy responded to me, well, I used to initiate all the time, but now you never know how someone's going to take it as harassment. I'm like, did that poll, that was such a stretch. Like, was that not clear that like the person, you have the person's consent already?
I think people,
Like, I just meant initiating sex with somebody that like
Like your partner.
wants to have sex with you. Yeah.
I think people have been somewhat disingenuous with responses to it, but there is a kernel of frustration that I do understand. Like, not just since the Me Too movement, but over the last, like, maybe I would say 10 years or so, there's been a movement away from in-person interaction and more
Definitely.
towards apps and dating sites. And that kind of like has been had a chilling effect on how people meet people and it definitely has spilled over into this with me too, because people were like I definitely know I'm less likely to approach a woman in public who's a stranger. And that used to be like how people would just meet people. It used to like on the subway,
Right.
in the supermarket, and it would not even on a disrespectful like "hey mom," but on like a real like human to human kind of level. My thing was meeting people on the subway. That's how I used to meet most of the people I would go out with.
So it was just like, hey girl, you trying to lick some balls?
I'll just hang out at the G train terminal. No,
Yeah.
I would meet people. I just happened to meet several people who were very nice on the subway. I think I've been less likely to do that. But it's
Yeah.
also like in older and lazier.
There was that video that went viral of the girl walking through New York City and being catcalled, right? And the big thing that stood out to me was that everybody kept saying all these unsolicited advances, all these unsolicited comments. But anytime you're talking to a stranger, it's unsolicited,
Sure.
right?
Yes.
So it becomes this weird thing where it's like, I understand the pushback of having a stranger talk to you, but let's not group every stranger interaction.
Also, let's not group all those interactions into catcalling. Some of them are just like literally, "Hello, how you doing?
Good
what the
morning.
hell is wrong with
Good
hello?
morning.
Good morning." I'm like, what's wrong with saying that? And then, but if you put like 100 of them in a row, you can start to shape the narrative. in that
Sure.
way. And there were some people who were creeps. Like people
Sure.
followed her down the street. People said mean things.
Yeah.
But then there's other people who are just like, "Hello, are we not allowed to flirt?" Like that could be just like a flirtation. Like, "Hello, how you doing?" And what if she like thinks this guy's cute? I'm gonna say hello back. And then next thing you know, they're on a date. Next thing you know, they're married. That used to happen all the time. That's how people freaking got
Right,
together before
right.
everyone was like, "Well, I gotta be in my app when I'm at the bar and around all these people." Like that's not how it always was. So
That video shaped the way I look at street interaction a lot, for sure. I at one point I did start thinking maybe because people were saying it's about power, right? When people are saying good morning, it's like, are they saying good morning to everyone? It becomes a question, right?
Right.
And
but they
then
shouldn't have to say good morning to everyone. People are allowed to flirt with strangers.
No, if
in
you
public.
make eye contact though, and it's like oh look, we're looking at each other. Hey, that makes
or a
sense.
head nod or a smile.
or a head nod or a smile.
Yeah.
Versus somebody who's
I hated that argument after the video. It was like, oh, they wouldn't say hello to guys. Who gives a fuck? Like, yeah, that's what people for like millennia have been doing to meet other people, saying hello to a stranger in public. That's a thing that happens.
That was
That's
an
how
issue.
People
That
can
was
meet.
that was a big issue. Dudes were getting jealous. They're like, well, I'm cute. How come he ain't say nothing to your boy? I think I remember after that video came out, I saw this dude standing on the corner on Franklin, and a girl walked by him. He was like, good morning. And she ignored him. And I started thinking, oh, man, this dude's just like creeping on girls. And then he said good morning to me. And I was like, this guy's an angel. This guy's a godsend.
And then there's people who are just friendly.
Yeah. He was just out there saying
But in
good
New
morning
York-
to people.
In New York, that sticks out because a lot of people are just like, I got to go where I'm going and everyone else can fuck off.
But
Like, that's
again,
like,
it's the response to the whatever. If they
Yeah,
say
if
good morning and you don't say good morning
Yes.
back, and they're like, "Oh, you don't want to kiss?" That's a bad response. If
That'd be
you
a
don't
weird
say,
response.
yeah,
I think why a lot of women are fearful is because good morning is usually followed up. If you respond to good
Yes.
morning, it goes, well, where you going, girl? Can I walk with
It
Right.
you?
can also escalate into like a really crappy place. So like
Yeah.
the person who's like good morning and then like they get ignored and they're like, well, fuck you then, you ugly. Like that happens also.
And it's like I didn't even ask for this interaction. I would,
Yep.
yes. So just kind of try and read the room.
I'll tell you
I
who's
guess.
100% creeps though. People who send the good morning text.
Oh my god,
Now, that's some creepy shit.
I had to block
Good
somebody
morning.
for that.
Yeah.
I was like, you're giving me shivers up my spine.
That is
We've
creepy.
never met.
That is
Oh,
creepy.
Creep.
Yeah. What kind of craziness is this?
I've had girls tell me, hey, why don't you say good morning?
I mean,
Yeah.
that's a weirdo also.
But once you know already.
I'm getting to know, but
Yeah,
like,
they're like, why don't you check in with me?
yeah, I just
In
hate that there's like people.
No, Khalid's guys are like, we met once at a club, and then suddenly it's
Khalid's
like,
guys.
hey, beautiful.
Khaled's
The
team,
ones that he trains.
Khaled squad.
He's like that guy from VH1. What was that show? The
Single
pickup
Male?
artist.
Pickup artist. Oh
yeah,
my
you're
God.
the pickup
Mystery.
artist. Mystery.
The
Yeah,
dude, that dude.
Yeah.
Oh my, it's so funny.
But you
'cause
just tell everyone to send good morning text. That's
I'm
Khalid's
like,
crew.
This is what you gotta do, fellas. You gotta wear a peacock hat. You gotta have some snow goggles on for no reason, and you gotta send these ladies a good morning every single morning.
And in no time, they'll be licking your balls. Take notes, fellas.
So did the licking of the balls like open?
And we're back.
Did the licking of the balls open a floodgate? Like, because I know the first time I came, it like definitely opened the floodgate to being able to come other ways. Like, can you handle coming without the licking of the balls?
When you said floodgate, the first thing I thought was like, was it like more explosive?
Oh.
And I was like, yes, I almost came on my own face. No. It still was pretty much has been mostly just like licking of the balls throughout.
Nice.
Just like that's like the main way. But I have recently been able to come through penetration and also through blowjobs.
Very nice.
Through penetration.
Yep.
What was his name?
You see, now that's a joke from like 2017, from before we were woke and we didn't realize that everyone can be gender fluid and have.
Definitely. Do you remember the first time that you ever came through masturbation or in general?
Through masturbation, I was probably very young, probably like maybe 8.
What?
Yeah, maybe 8 or 9. Yeah.
I'm always so blown away. But
Well, you had made a pact to not like watch porn or have sex or do anything.
8 years old, you stroking yourself, bro.
Oh, bro, I was all about it, man. Tearing up them table corners, just like rubbing up. This is what I used to do.
Hump table corners?
This was my move. This is like very embarrassing. This is what I used to do. I used to go upstairs to the upstairs bathroom, linoleum floor, and I would hump my hand into the floor. And of course, my mom caught me one time, and she was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I dropped something." And here's how dope my mom is. She was like, and she didn't close the door, kept it moving. She knew what was up. She knew what I was up to. She caught me many other times masturbating because once I did it the first time, I was like, oh, I'm hooked.
Yeah.
So I was like, she'd catch me periodically. And she's also one of those moms who just walk into my room, just trying to like keep track of what I was up to. And I'm like, you know what I'm up to? I'm jerking off. Like, what is the mystery? I'm jerking off. I'm playing video games. That's all I'm doing. But she was like, I don't want you doing drugs. She's one of those people like very on top of me about.
But that's nice that she was on top of you for everything else except this, because I feel like parents who are generally really strict, they're like, don't do that. But like she was,
and
that was the perfect response.
She always ignored that. And except for the one time, and this probably happened to a lot of kids, and boys are disgusting this way. So you start jerking off, you got to clean up. And boys are lazy, and we just be grabbing the socks and my socks. And she was doing my laundry until I was like 8 or so, until I was like 9 or so. Then I started doing my own laundry. And I think part of the reason she started to be like, you know what, you got to do your own laundry from now on.
Just because of that.
Yeah. Tired of cleaning those fucking cum covered socks.
Yeah.
Like that'll do it. That's like, you know what, this is your responsibility. You did it. You clean it up.
And you're like, I'm willing I'll pay the price for the crime.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep criming.
Yeah, but socks. Also, that's another thing that people should learn from this. If you drop your laundry off, do not be wiping cum on your fucking clothing, because those women who are cleaning your clothes are cleaning your disgusting fucking cum-covered clothing.
Yeah.
And you're not tipping them either. You got to freaking use paper towels.
I always feel
if
bad.
you're dropping your clothes off.
But like they do your underwear too. Like that's.
But you should tip them. I'm saying like you should tip them, but you should tip them extra if you're freaking cleaning up like that.
You're not a hero, Khalid.
Yo, I'm a hero, man. I'm a hero.
Get out of here, man.
I'm a hero, yo.
They're supposed I think jizz is like one of the least terrible things they're cleaning up at laundromats.
Think about what you just said.
Dude, seriously,
It's
man.
not one of the least.
People shit their pants, bro.
Yo, when you shit your pants, you know what the protocol is. You throw those shits away and never think about it ever again.
Throw 'em away,
People are
man.
not dropping off poop-filled underwear at the fucking laundromat.
Oh, man, I'm the only one. Just your boy. You're not going to have people thinking I'm the only one dropping off loaded diapers.
He's like, you know how much underwear costs these days in this economy? Yeah, cum is the worst thing, I think, that people are putting on their clothes.
Yeah. Blood is tough to get out.
But yeah,
and blood is more recognizable.
I think blood,
too.
you got to throw that away too. You got to throw that.
What?
You can't get blood out of stuff. You got to throw it away. You got to move. Well, then again, this is male privilege talking.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like I'd have no underwear.
Yeah, I'm like, you don't just buy underwear every month. You just don't.
Yeah.
You don't have hundreds of pairs of underwear.
I never masturbated in the home I grew up in.
Oh,
Yeah.
weird flex.
Yeah.
It's a weird.
Well, I didn't start masturbating
Until after the sex.
After
Yeah.
sex. So
Yeah.
I had sex when I was graduating high school, and then I was living on campus.
Oh, my house was a crime scene. I was up to no good.
Where did you grow up?
In Maryland.
In Maryland. And what kind of church were you going? Was it like a specifically
Baptist like fellowship church? I don't want to paint my church or my religious upbringing as like particularly stringent but I do think that sexual behavior was definitely frowned upon.
Were there a lot of other people in the church that were making similar pacts and stuff? Like, was that a popular thing?
I don't know. We didn't openly talk about like our sexual. I do remember specifically going to a summer camp and like pledging, like, you know, when you like give your life to, well, Khalid doesn't know, but
like, allegiance to the flag and also to not jerking off.
To give your life to the Lord or whatever. And I remember like a lot of my peers were doing that, and I remember doing it myself. So yeah, you had this like church community of people who were your age.
Yeah. So it's easier to make that decision because it's not like you're going to be left out or seen as like a loser or something.
Right. So that's not something I ever had to worry about at home, like getting caught jerking off. I think my younger brother, I think he started doing that before me. I remember like walking in on him in high school or something like that, and I was like, "What the fuck are you doing, bro?" But yeah, I just never did it at home. So that's nothing I ever had to worry about, like getting caught by my mom.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the horror! I'm like, I'm like thinking about it now, and it's like I'm disturbed at the idea.
And the funny thing is, I would be completely naked. Because I had to like get romantic for myself. I was like,
self-care.
Oh snap! It's time to do my thing. I gotta get upstairs to the bathroom in this robe, like light a scented candle.
It's amazing.
It was bad, and I was just so scrawny too. So I'm like, that must have been just like a horrible sight. this kid who's like all elbows and knees and fucking shoulder blades, just like down there, just like viciously humping his hand,
fucking the hand on
against the linoleum floor. Oh, my knuckles are always so sore.
I can't imagine either of my parents walking on me. That would be horrible.
Toilet paper bill through the roof. It was really bad.
Because most times I think about people walking in on guys, I'm like, oh, they're in the bed or whatever. Like, that is a very crazy visual that I think equates to a female visual because, like, we are lying down or we'll be upside down or something. Like, it's not...
I didn't know about this like jerk off hand motion that most guys apparently were doing until like I watched porn. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was like, that seems a little more convenient.
Yeah.
Look at how efficiently
I've had this wonderful tool the whole time.
Yeah.
Bye floor.
Sometimes though I miss that linoleum, you know.
Does your mom still live in that house?
No, we sold
man.
that house. She moved, but man, oof.
Wait, so how did you learn how to jack off if you had sex the first time you came?
After I had sex, it completely opened my eyes to all types of sexual
The world was in
activity.
color all of a sudden.
So I do think that there's some truth to the idea that once you're introduced to sexual behavior, it just only makes you more curious about sex. So after I had sex once, I'm like always thinking about sex. So I started watching porn that summer. And then by the time I was in college, I felt like I was a pro.
Well, I'm excited. I'm glad that you both are effing up sex way less. Your girlfriend looked real happy with you. And I do believe that she's coming.
Yeah.
Khalid, I'm glad you are making love to yourself on a regular basis.
I mean, you have to.
It sounds sexy.
Light a candle and everything.
It's amazing. Can you remind my listeners where they can find you online?
Absolutely. You can find me at Khalid Says on Instagram, KHALIDSAYS, and at Khalid NYC on Twitter.
Cool. LeClerc?
Yeah, I'm on the Instagram too. At LeClerc Andre, LeClerc and yeah, check out the podcast, Eff'n Up.
Yes.
It's on Instagram as well, at Eff'n Up, which is fun.
And that's EFFN Up.
I'll post both of your links to your stand-up sets because they're both awesome.
All right.
And I just have to ask this at the end of a sexual experience, which this has verifiably been. Khalid, did you finish?
I did not.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Because the balls.
Because the balls.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. We'll call someone in to fix that up for you.
But spiritually, yes, I finished.
Okay, amazing. LeClerc, did you finish?
Yeah, I finished.
Okay, great.
You said it's so creepy.
Yeah.
You're going to check the bag, too.
That's a good one. That's a callback, people.
Thank you for coming, and we'll see you next time on How Come.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
It's not you, it's me. I try so hard to finish honestly. They say you'll know when you go all the way from A right down to O. Oh no, I think that I've still got a ways to go. Oh, I'm sick of this and I have got to know. How come? How come? How come I can't achieve? How come I can't achieve? I'm rolling up my sleeves. I'm rolling up my sleeves. Oh baby, I believe these guests can help. 'Cause I can't do it by myself. I wanna jizz.
Me again, just reminding you guys to rate, review, and subscribe so we can get that extra episode. I'm so excited. Also, go to patreon.com if you want extras. There will be extras for this episode, and they will come out on Wednesday. Okay, bye, guys.